from all the pain and suffering. Thank you for joining us. My name is Margie Lash, and I'd like to welcome you all. So tonight we're going to be talking about CBD oil applications and amazing benefits. And let's just dive right in. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to be sure that we have a disclosure about we're not diagnosing, we're not treating, preventing, or saying that these products are intended to cure any disease. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. Always check with your physician before starting a new dietary supplement program. The cannabidiol in CBD Pure is a natural constituent of industrial hemp and legally imported. CBD Pure does not sell or distribute any products that are in violation of the United States Controlled Substances Act. So now that we have that out of the way, is CBD legal? Will it get you high? These are two questions that were asked often. And the reality is that CBD oil is derived from the industrial hemp plant. And industrial hemp is legal in all 50 states. It is not the plant that has the psychoactivity that makes you feel high. So CBD Pure chooses industrial hemp because it's high in CBD content and it's very low in THC naturally. So there's no more than 0.3 of THC, which is the element of the hemp plant that gives the psychoactivity. And so it can't be more than 0.3% of THC. So that's a very, very small number. And therefore, it does not have the psychoactivity. So what systems does CBD oil support? There's a lot of information out there about, there's a lot of controversy. I don't know why. There's nothing controversial about this, but, people will have some kind of an issue with CBD for some reason, I guess because it comes from the hemp plant. But the great thing about CBD oil is that it really supports so many of our body systems, the neurological system, which is all tied up with the central nervous system, the digestive system, the respiratory system, the immune system. It has anti-inflammatory properties, and it also supports the cardiovascular system. So I think that about covers it, right? That's about all the systems we have in our body, and it really supports that. So the research is super clear. CBD supports all of the things that are listed on this slide. There are studies that have shown that CBD oil supports fracture healing and bone strength. There are studies that show that CBD oil supports eye health and emotional well-being and neurological health, and just supports the central nervous system, period. So it really does support general health and well-being in all of the major areas of your body. So taking CBD oil on a regular basis as a dietary supplement can be completely supportive of your overall health. So CBD is one of the cannabinoids. Cannabinoids there's a whole list of cannabinoids, and here on this slide it tells you about some of them. There are 6 different ones mentioned, 6 different cannabinoids mentioned in this particular slide. And you can see that CBD is the one that's kind of in the teal here, CBD. CBD is not psychoactive. Studies have shown it to have anti-inflammatory, anti-anxiety, anti-nausea, neuroprotective, blood pressure lowering, and pain-killing properties, among many others. So you can see the column here, CBD can influence all of these things. You can see the other cannabinoids have influencers here and there, but CBD is the one of these cannabinoids that actually addresses most categories. And so that is why it is so highly recommended and highly prized, because it does really address many things. And this is another category or another from another laboratory talking about different things that CBD supports. And again, you can see CBD is this first column in the light green, and you can see that there are influencers of CBD in the majority of categories all the way down. And none of the other cannabinoids have that same wide spectrum of influence. So super important. So how does CBD oil work? So to address that, we want to talk about the endocannabinoid system, which is the it's a system just working in our bodies. We have 2 main receptors that make up the human endocannabinoid system. It's CB1 and CB2. And what happens is the CBD, which is cannabidiol goes into the body and it finds these receptors and it addresses what needs to be addressed. So the CB1 receptors are basically the nervous system receptors, brain and central nervous system. And so you can see in the light blue, you can see where the CB1 receptors reside in the body. And there are some in the extremities, but mostly you find them in the brain and down the spine and a little bit into some of the, not centralized in organ areas, but kind of throughout little bits of CB1 receptors. The CB2 receptors really are concentrated primarily in the organs that make up the endocrine system and the immune system. And so we can use CBD oil to address all of these different things, which is different than some of the other cannabinoid-like natural products out there. So that's one thing that I really want to make clear, is that CBD is relatively unique in its broad influence over many things in the body. So there's lots of different things that you've seen already just by the list of things that are mentioned. The applications are many. They can be used for long-term health. They can be used for pain issues. They can be used as a dietary daily supplement to maintain and promote general well-being, mood, and stress levels. So it's an overall health approach. Cannabidiol has no known toxicity levels and no side effects, and there are thousands of research studies that have shown significant health benefits. So this chart on this page kind of gives you a little bit of an idea about some of the areas that can be addressed with CBD. So CBD products are trusted by holistic health professionals and by health-minded people everywhere. And you can see on this slide the 3 general areas that CBD addresses. Mental health, we've talked about that. It really does help reduce anxious feelings. It's very calming because it has such calming effects on the central nervous system. I'll just tell you a little story. Yesterday, I had a very odd day. My schedule was all messed up. I didn't get to go through my normal morning routine, and I didn't eat breakfast until late, and things were just kind of askew just because I had a 9 o'clock phone call and I wasn't quite ready for it. And so I meditate every morning and I exercise every morning and I do daily planning and I do all of that in the morning. Well, my morning got just kind of messed up. And guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to take my CBD oil in the morning. And it was after breakfast, I realized that I hadn't taken it, and I wondered why I was feeling so kind of stressed and not grounded. And I looked at Marty and I said, oh my gosh, I forgot to take my CBD. And I immediately took it, and about 3 minutes later, I was feeling much more calm. So it just showed me how important it is for me to always remember to take my my morning amount of CBD and my evening amount of CBD every single day. I always want it in my system, on board, ready to help me to get through my day more easily. So that's kind of the mental health piece of it for me. It also has a general health component. Cannabidiol is an important dietary component for promoting health and wellness. And then thirdly, it restores balance. So it really does get us into that grounded place by balancing the endocannabinoid system, which is a very, very important system in our body. And so we really can't go wrong by using CBD oil on a daily basis. So why CBD Pure? How did we come to using this particular product? And the reality is Marty and I both are very concerned about what we put in our bodies, and we want to be sure that we are using a top-notch product that is natural, that is potent, that is pure. And so this is how we came upon CBD Pure. It wasn't the first CBD oil that we tried, but we got to it very quickly, thankfully, and found it to be extremely, it really did meet our high standards. So it is a full spectrum hemp oil, and it works synergistically with the concentrated CBD serum that is mixed with the pure hemp oil. And so the hemp oil is cold pressed and unrefined. The CBD oil is extracted through CO2 extraction, the highest quality process, the industry standard for extracting compounds from plants. And it's organic, comes from Denmark, and it's completely pure. There's nothing in it but hemp oil. We also like the delivery system. It's sublingual administration. So that means that we take half a dropper full and we place it under our tongue. We hold it on the bottle it says hold it for 60 seconds. We believe that holding it longer is going to make sure what's going to happen is it's going to confirm that all the constituents of the CBD are absorbed into our bloodstream. So we hold it for about 3 minutes so that we can be sure that all those constituents that we need and will influence our body's health are absorbed into our bloodstream. So that's how we do it. And we believe that CBD Pure delivers the health benefits that no other legal hemp product offers. So we are completely 100% behind it. And so there's also the purity is an issue. And so we take this also very, very seriously. So third-party testing is, again, the industry standard for these kinds of products. And that means that it's arm's length testing. It's done by an independent laboratory. And there is a certificate of analysis for each batch of CBD oil. And it can ensure that we have a high quality product, that there are no pesticides, that there's no solvents, residual solvent leftovers, and there is a clear cannabinoid profiling as well. So all of the important markers are tested, and we feel very confident that this testing assures that we have a very high quality product. So which product is right for you? There are 3 strengths. There is the CBD Pure 600, which has a retail cost of $79.99. And it was developed for those with significant health challenges. It provides maximum health and wellness benefits. And when taken twice a day, it delivers 20 milligrams of cannabidiol. And I am just seeing that I have my little charts a little bit messed up here. So the supplement facts on the bottom one are actually for the 600. So you can see down here, I will have to change this, but down here, this is the 600. And it's 10 milligrams of cannabidiol per half dropper full. And so this one belongs up here. Sorry about that. I have to change that. The 300 is $54.99, and it has 10 milligrams when taken twice a day of cannabidiol. So you can see here it's 5 milligrams per half dropper full. So taken twice a day, that would give you 10 milligrams. And this is developed for those looking for a great complete supplement to supercharge their health and wellness. And I would say that it's great to be used by people, maybe that don't have a significant health challenge, but they really want to support their health and wellness. And then the third one down here is CBD Pure 100 with a retail cost of $29.99. And it's developed for those looking to give their health and wellness a general boost. It's also great for pets and children. And when taken twice a day, it delivers 3.3 milligrams of cannabidiol. So that kind of gives you the information about the specific products in a nutshell. And we're going to, let's see if there's, if anybody has any questions about the product, we can pause here and let's see if anybody, I'm gonna unmute. Does anybody have any questions?
Ew. I do have a question, actually, so I'm going to go off mute.
Okay, I unmuted you. Would you like to ask your question? Janelle, is that you? Oh.
I wasn't sure.
There you go.
Me. Because I was actually talking to myself when I said
Oh, dear.
So when you were talking about the research and, all the information and thousands of articles, what is a good response to somebody that doesn't buy into that? So I had an acupuncturist that I asked if they used CBD or would recommend it. And they said that they actually, they didn't think that the data showed enough validity or whatever you want to say to find it to be effective to the point where they thought that they should recommend it to our patients. But, then of course she said, but the proof is in the pudding. So if you find it works for you, that's great. But I kind of was at a loss to how to respond to that based on all of the information that is out there.
Well, I'd say just go back and look at the research. The research is all there. I mean, if you go to one of the clearinghouses for CBD research and look up a particular condition and then click on that, it takes you to studies that are published on PubMed and, the National Institute of Health PubMed. And so these are peer-reviewed studies. I don't know how you can refute that. I mean, when someone says it's not clear, well, it's very clear. There are thousands of studies out there that have shown the power of CBD. Now, yeah, go ahead, Marty.
Yeah, I think one of the things that needs to be considered is that, unfortunately, in the United States, the Americas specifically, the research into CBD has been somewhat more limited than in the rest of the world. There are much more active and proactive countries and organizations out there that are not based in the U.S. because, of course, even today, right? Even today, it's got a certain, stigmatism to it that, people think it's marijuana or whatever. So it's the research and the familiarity with people, I think, in the United States is far less developed than people around the world. And so somebody who maybe hasn't gone to the effort of really expanding their base for their knowledge into those other parts of the world and just reads, publications in the U.S. or whatever, it's just starting to grow and grow as it becomes more popular in the U.S. But these studies take time to develop and to come to fruition. So I think that's part of the challenge, is that in the U.S. It's been a lot more limited than even when you go on to PubMed and those kinds of things. A lot of studies are in Europe. And so I think that may be part of the thing. And like they said, the proof is in the pudding. And there's definitely research out there that shows positive results, and they're not going to know it until their patient tries it. Because, as I think you probably have heard me say, one drug, and this isn't a drug, but why do they make 5 different drugs from different manufacturers that really do the same thing? And it's because some work for one and some don't work for the other. That's why they put you through all these different drugs. So I think that might be part of the reason why as well.
I think also many of the studies, unfortunately, have been done on medical marijuana. So the amount of CBD that people are often receiving from those products, and they also have the psychoactivity piece, it maybe isn't as clear in some of those studies, and that's very unfortunate for us because we really need to see lots more studies done on pure CBD oil, and I think we're going to see some amazing, remarkable information coming out when we do get studies that are purely done on CBD oil rather than on medical marijuana. And so I think that may be part of it as well. Some people don't have the greatest critical thinking skills, so if they see that it's THC CBD, then they're going to have a different feeling about that oftentimes, and then maybe it isn't as clear which element of the product is actually showing the benefit. And so that's one of the things that I think is also unfortunate. And I do believe over the next few years, we're going to see more studies on CBD oil specific. The problem with that is because CBD oil is considered a dietary supplement, oftentimes researchers are really not that interested in studying those products. They're more interested in studying something that's classified as a drug. So I think that that's also a barrier or a dilemma that we're dealing with.
And I think to Margie's point there, I think part of the reason that it's, as she would say, follow the money. I talked to a researcher in essential oils about CBD, and after talking a little bit about it and telling me that their research showed very good promise and they really liked it, he said, but if we develop the product and if we go out and do the testing and do all the stuff that we have to do and spend millions of dollars, anybody can buy it anywhere. And so we're not willing to make that kind of investment. It's not like a drug where they can put their name on and they own that drug. CBD oil is public, part of the public. So if you had a manufacturer, you had a drug company, or someone do all this research and pay for all this research and all that kind of all that expense, and then anybody and their brother could sell it, that they won't do that. So that's another reason that kind of in the U.S. again, because it is such a capitalistic society, and the drug companies are so obviously driven by the bottom line, they're not willing to make that investment. Now, if they came out with a special combination or a capsule or something, but they're just not willing to make that investment, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think that's very true. And of course, that is what I always say. You know, it is really about the following the money, and, you know, where the money is to be had, and what companies can benefit from that. And this product really is not a product that's going to benefit a particular company. So, you know, people aren't going to put, you know, big companies aren't going to put money behind the research. So I hope that answers your question, Janelle.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Janelle, I'd like to ask you a question, because I've been thinking about this a little bit, because we have people that we work with where they want to try the product, not necessarily them, but for their customers, or they want to give it to, you know, one of their customers and see how it does. And do you think there would be any benefit of offering, I'm just going to call this for the sake of like a sample program where people could buy a sample at a discounted price? Let's just say it wasn't, you know, the full discount, but it was something less than retail, so that somebody could get it for their customer or their client and then try it. Do you think there'd be a benefit to that? Do you think that'd be advantageous?
I think it would be. The only thing that I'm thinking about now is that Margie, you had a good example about this morning with your, you know, breakfast and feeling off today without taking it. But I think, well, for me and for John personally, I don't think we notice it like that so much as much as when you talk about how people need to take it regularly and consistently to really see the benefit. And I think that for us is when we have really noticed it. So I'm not sure, like, I also think people want like this, they're expecting some sort of like wonder pill and wonder drug, you know? And so I guess that would, like, I do think, to answer your question, it would be a benefit, but I just don't know if people will think that it's going to solve their world's problems.
Right,
you know?
Right. Understand. Okay, well, it's something we're just batting around and thinking about. So.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, maybe it would benefit a particular subset of our community and population. So we might try it and see what happens. You know, we might offer it to our wellness affiliates, that they can then offer it to the, you know, the people that they're working with, and see if, you know, we can try it. You know, we don't have anything big to lose by trying it. So it really does have to do with someone's particular commitment, though. So somebody who's just kind of not that interested in bringing it in, you know, they're not likely to be the candidate to take advantage of that kind of a program. Whereas someone who's looking for, you know, maybe they have a patient, if it's a retailer, you know, like a chiropractor or acupuncturist or something like that, you know, they have a particular client that nothing has worked for them, and maybe they would like to see if that person would be interested in trying it. That kind of thing might be beneficial. And I know we've, Marty and I have been kind of throwing that idea around to see, you know, what we think. So to be discussed.
Yes, we'll see. Yeah.
So Marty, you want to go ahead and we're going to do a little bit of an overview. And Janelle, I know that you didn't make it. I don't know if you watched the webinar that we did while you were away about the sales programs, but we're going to just do a little brief overview of that. So.
Okay, good. No, I didn't have a chance to watch it, so
okay,
thank you.
Great. Then we'll just give you the key things here.
Yeah, why don't you keep the slides, Margie? So go ahead and move on.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's really simple. I have a tendency to overcomplicate things, and I'm trying to make this as simple as I can. So first, let me state that there is no difference in the pricing or the process for a retailer or a wellness affiliate. So they both get the same price. They both go through the same enrollment process. The requirement is the same, that they buy a starter kit or $300 in wholesale inventory, and that's so that they have product on hand and can sell it. There is no membership and there are no monthly dues. The only difference in the general program, and I'll get a little more specific, is that wellness affiliates get that 10% commission when they sign people up. And they can sign either new wellness affiliates or retailers up. That's something new that changed. In the past, we didn't pay the 10% commission to retailers because the retailers needed a little bit higher margin, but we decided to bite the bullet on that, and now all the pricing is the same. It's all at a 40% discount from retail. And again, the only difference is, a retailer, in a chiropractor or a health food store or a naturalist, they're not interested. They're not interested in selling to other people. They're interested in selling to their clients and their hosts and consumers and whatnot. So they don't want to sign people up. So for them, there's no signing up program and all that. The wellness affiliates, on the other hand, are signing people up, are working with people, and they're working even with retailers and signing them up, so they get that 10%. And they get that 10% on any purchases made by anybody that they enroll, whether retailer or wellness affiliate, as long as the enroller, the person who's doing the enrolling, orders $100 worth of product in the previous 90 days, which is like nothing, right? So that's just to make sure that they're still involved. We don't want to have people earning commissions and us keeping them on the books when they're not doing anything. So if somebody can't buy $100 worth of product in the previous 90 days, which is basically one order, then they're not going to get the 10%, because no matter who it is, a wellness affiliate or a retailer, there is that $100 minimum order, which has nothing to do with any of this. It's just that's just a minimum order requirement for us to be able to process the order. That's part of the system and it's part of the requirement, but that has nothing to do with the program. That's like for future orders. So again, to make it as simple as I can, the only difference is the part numbers are a little different for the products. The SKU numbers are a little different because we have to know what we're paying commissions on versus what we're not. But so a retailer has a different part number. It's like CBD Pure RET 600, or maybe it's CBD Pure 600 RET versus AFL. So whenever you see RET, that's a retail number, and when you see AFL, that's an affiliate number. And I think it is that. I think it's CBD 600 RET and CBD Pure 600 RET and CBD Pure 600 AFL. So it should be fairly easy to digest those. There's a sign-up form. They're both, very similar. It should be fairly simple. So, we talk about what are the benefits. Of course, one of the things that I like about the program, where I've seen other programs that are complicated and they take time to learn and they take time. There's a bunch of products and all different iterations of, different products. The nice thing about our program is that it's simple. There are 3 products. There are combinations of those products for the kids, but there are only 3 products to know about. There's not like 8 million different, SKUs. There's 3 products and then 3 kits, and that's it for the affiliates, and then 3 products and 3 kits for the retailers. But it's the same. They're all the same. It's just a different part number. So it's not real complicated, and it's not real crazy figuring out who's doing what to who. The other nice thing, of course, is that it's a low startup cost. Somebody that wants to become a retailer or a wellness affiliate just buys the kit, and that kit is a wholesale product. And there's no enrollment fee, there's no membership, there's no monthly dues, there's no monthly requirement, nothing. All you do is you buy the opening inventory, the kit, and then you're on board, and then you're just ordering and filling back orders, and again, that minimum $100 order, but there's no other requirement of any spending. And the bonus program is nice because, as I showed a couple weeks ago, the residual income builds quickly, and you can start out on a very, very part-time basis, and you can make a few $100s a month. You're not going to get rich, but by the time a year comes around, you're now making $800 a month or $900 a month. A week. Wait, a week a week. I'm sorry, a week. So so it really builds incrementally as you go through the year, and you build on that, and you start that 10% starts to really add up. The nice thing also is these are great products. They're new, they're exciting, they're cutting edge. Everybody's talking about CBD. If you would have, I would say 2 years ago, if we were selling this product, we would have had to sell a lot more of the category than we do today. So many people are looking for CBD solutions, and it's really easy to sell as far as the category of product. People that know it are familiar with it. I'm always amazed how many people do know about it. Sometimes we do retail, public events, and I say to people, "Have you heard about CBD?" "Oh yeah, and they actually do know. So that's a good thing, and it keeps us all right on the edge of today's wellness solutions. So I think it's a good product. It's a good chance to make some money. It's a good chance to help people. It's a good thing, good. It's a nice, a clean product, and it's pretty. I'm pretty confident about the program. So does anybody have any questions on the program or either program? Okay, Margie, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you, Marty. So just let us know how we can help you. If you are an end user and would like to get some CBD oil into your hands, please contact the person who shared this webinar with you to place your order. If you learned about the webinar from social media, from Marty or myself, you can contact me at my email address here on the screen or my telephone number. And I guess that's it for tonight. So any other questions?
This is Janelle again. Just one quick question. When you talk about retailers, what are some of the retailers that you're working with? Like, are you working with any type of, like, besides like chiropractors or acupuncturists, things like that, like stores?
Health food stores, yoga studios, some gyms that carry a lot of product would be interested because of the sports aspect. Naturopaths, there really are a lot of categories. I know that their spas are sometimes very interested, and like a day spa, and hair salons are sometimes interested because they carry a lot of products, and they might be interested in carrying a product like this. So really the sky's the limit. I mean, any retailer. I had someone interested, a smoke shop, somebody that sold tobacco products and vape products. They were very interested in this as well. And I think really a lot of vape places do have CBD oil. Usually it's for vaping, but they are often because that kind of clientele that comes into that kind of a store is often very interested in just CBD oil that would be taken sublingually. So really, you can think outside the box. Any place where people are interested in health and wellness, and or people that have some physical or emotional challenges, therapists, like psychologists could be somewhere where they might be interested, or pain clinics, for sure, people that work with pain management. physical therapy places, definitely. So, you know, there really are lots and lots of ideas out there, and really, you know, like I say, just think outside the box sometimes, and there's no harm in asking, you know, the owner of a place or the manager of a place if they would be interested in hearing about it.
And I would suggest that we start to approach these on a very small basis. You know, we don't want to we want to try and go for like a sole proprietor. Maybe they have a couple different locations where you could actually talk to somebody who's going to make make a decision. Because sometimes, I know a lot of times people swing for home runs, and home runs, if you know anything about baseball, home runs, you know, people that swing for home runs strike out a lot. It's just the way it goes. And that can be very discouraging. Plus, if you do get a really good pitch, you want to be able to hit it. So you want to practice with a smaller kind of customer who is a little more friendly, and you can learn, you know, what their pain points are and how to work with them before you actually go after the larger ones. It's sometimes a little frustrating because maybe they don't have the money or want to make the investment, but you can learn a lot before you take a deep dive, because once you get involved with that larger customer, it's a lot more complicated and difficult.
Very good advice, Marty.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and